Hey, welcome to another episode of Legion Elite Motorsports. I'm your host, Isaiah. And on today's episode, we are going to be working on some miscellaneous things, and we're going to be working on welding and fabricating the intercooler piping to be just two pieces. So let's see what all that includes. Okay, so as you can see, we put the camera down and we got cooking on getting some stuff done. Okay, so I made the hard lines. These are the PTFE lines, which are great for E85 due to their non-stick intercoating. These PTFE lines can hold above 500 degrees of temperature, and they can hold somewhere around 2,000 bursting PSI. So that's perfect for both of these items. So we got that there. Got to go into the oil cooler right there. So that's good to go. That's all done. Next, we put on the lower radiator hose, which is a universal piece. I would like to get this tucked over like that, nice and neat. Put some of these away. Same deal with that other connector. We have the feed line connected to the turbo. Right there, we got the adapter fittings for the oil cooler lines. We got the horn here, which is called the vortice funnel. Okay. We also got the wastegate on. This is a 44 millimeter wastegate, and that is on there. This particular wastegate has coolant or cooling options on it. That's the brass fittings. We're not going to run those. It's just an option, not mandatory. And the rules for wastegates is the bottom port for low boost, then the top port for high boost, and then from there you can use your boost controller to add on top of that, which is what we're going to be doing. Let's see what else. So we got the spark plug and spark plug wires in there, and it goes in this order specifically: 1, 3, 4, 2. Okay, simple. We still have to get the radiator hose that goes from A to B. So that's coming up soon. And everything is connected over here except the return line. So the return line is in a questionable angle. I'm gonna see if I can bend it ever so slightly forward, so we can get it going to the return line, which is on the oil pan. I have the fitting for that, so that is not a big deal. It'll be a 45. Let me see if I could see it right there. Yep, so that's gonna be a 45 degree bend there. And then we'll be able to put the hose. I'm gonna put a high temperature hose, and I'm gonna see if I can pull it away from the manifold, because that's a lot of heat that's going to build up there. So we're going to do that. That's one thing we have to do. And then I have to finish putting the valve cover on. So the valve cover is missing the front grommet here. Okay, which is simple. We're going to put the half moon piece in there, a little bit of silicone to make sure it doesn't leak. Then we can bolt this all the way down. So that, and then we're going to need a hose for the PCV valve system, which is gonna go directly to one of those ports. We have to hook up this hose for brake booster. We have to hook up this line for the fuel pressure regulator, and we did add the fuel pressure regulator right there, all with the fuel accessories. They're rocking the same colored trim. Then we're gonna have to hook up 2 blow-off valves. Okay, it's going to be in this general area somewhere here. We have to hook up 1 wastegate over here, and let me see. Then we have to hook up the return line for the fuel system. which is gonna be going to this guy here. So that's our feed. We gotta hook up the return line there, and then this return line goes to this fitting here. So there's a lot of little stuff I would like to knock out first before we dive into the next thing we have to do, which is intercooler piping. So before we get to that, let's see if we can wrap some of this stuff up. But it's definitely coming along. Okay, so we got our return line. I need to bend it. Also got the power steering line connected. So everything there is good to go. Yep, just have to put this guy in. It's actually threaded on the inside, and this is a non-pressure hose, so that should be good to go. Yep, so we're gonna get something to bend that line, and then that should be taken care of. And I almost forgot, the most important vacuum is the one for the ECU, which is this guy here. So we're definitely gonna utilize all of those ports to the max. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put a lot of them here. Brake booster is gonna go here. Then this accessory is gonna go to this guy. So I think we're maxed out on ports. So let's see what we could do. But yes, so far so good. Okay, so the fuel return line is ran, including the return to the tank is ran right there. So that is good to go. All we have to do is handle that vacuum. I need to get some T-pipes to actually handle all of the vacuums that run through the system. But other than that, that part is connected and good to go. And let's move on. Okay, so we are ready to add in the blow-off valves. We want the HKS sound without the HKS restrictions, and I'm gonna explain that in a minute. But these two are gonna land right up in this area. So I'm gonna weld these together, and I'm gonna make them probably offset, give it a little different look. But yep, so we're gonna offset these blow-off valves, and then we're gonna start doing the intercooler piping. Okay, so that is all welded together. We're gonna zoom in there. Not bad. Completely sealed though, so that works. All right, let that cool off. We'll size everything up and see what we got. Okay, so I welded on a 45, well, more so cut to 45, with a 2.5 to 3 inch coupler, which I have in my hand. Put that down right here. And this matches up to here perfectly. Put a boost clamp on it. And pretty much what it's looking like is we'll have something like this. Hold on. Right down like that. Okay. And then we'll do the bottom half, and then we'll finish up this side. We'll be good to go. Oh snap, it's starting to look like something. So of course I'm gonna put some paint on this so it's not so visible. But you gotta get this last elbow on this side and then weld up the remaining. So let's see what piece I have to finish that area up. Okay, I got this under the fan, cooling off. All right, that should be about the angle we need. And then on the driver's side, there should be only 2 couplers, one at the intercooler and one at the throttle body. Okay, there we go. That is complete. All the way down here. And that's the only clamp. So one down here, one up here. Okay, completely welded, ready to rock and roll. And yep, that's complete. Perfect. I hope I explained this, but the reason for 2 blow-off valves is because 1 isn't big enough for that turbo, so 2 equals 40 millimeter if one of these is 20 millimeter. So yeah. Of course, we move into night. So, the intercooler pipe is all the way done. Okay, so that's from here all the way. All the way down there. So, everything is connected except this guy. This has to be 2.5 to 2. So we're gonna wait for that boot to come in, but the intercooler piping is made and ready to rock and roll. So that is everything. I'm gonna get a daytime shot for you guys so we could see how it all looks and all came together. But this side is completely tight. The bottom side of this is completely tight. And yeah, all done. Looks good. Okay, here she is in the daytime. And everything is connected as far as intercooler pipe from A to B. Okay, so those are tight. Down here, 100% tight. On the other side, 100% tight. And we are waiting for the elbow to come in, and that will be tightened also, and that end is good to go. So she's starting to look like a car there. Looks pretty good. All right, and she's done for now. And with that being said, we're gonna call it an episode from right there. If you guys are not familiar, definitely check out my website, legionelitemotorsports.com, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. It's all Legion Elite. And remember, guys, knowledge is power. And I will see you next time.